Hello and welcome to Get Collected. I'm your host, Soul Brother Mike, and it's Tuesday, September 12th, 2017, and you're listening to Season 4, Episode 16. Today on Get Political, I'll be talking about the idea of political brands. And here's something, I'm sharing a live recording of Chrissy Cochran, and in What's the Deal, I'm going to let you know what's coming up. Now let's get to the show. So today on Get Political, I'll be talking about political brands. It's an interesting point that was made by Jared Beck on the Jimmy Dore show in the September 1st episode. Jared Beck led the lawsuit against the DNC for running an unfair primary process in 2016. Essentially, the primary process that led to Hillary Clinton being the Democratic nominee was rigged or unfair, or so Jared Beck pled. The case was ultimately dismissed, but the judge did find the allegations to be well pled and plausible and was dismissed for jurisdictional reasons. Later in their conversation, he begins talking about political parties in general and says this. Have a listen.
I think the political parties in this country have really lost their way on both sides of the aisle. I think there what may have been a time when they were very vital to the democratic institutions of this country, and a lot of the democratic process occurred through them, and people were very active in their parties. But that's not the case anymore. I mean, nobody reads the charter or the documents, and very few people are actually involved with political parties. They've really turned into brands, and voters are just like passive consumers. And it's all a game of how much money you can suck from the corporations and the people, and try to inundate them with mass media messaging so that they'll vote for either brand A or brand B. It's really a sad state of affairs in this country in terms of what our democracy has become, in my opinion.
So I found this to be a very powerful statement and clip. And although I don't personally know the charters of different political parties, I do think there is a middle ground of awareness where actual policy is discussed. When we try to assume what is in a politician's heart, we're really doing a poor job of understanding what is actually happening in politics. Many people, for example, believe that Barack Obama had the best interests in heart for the United States, but cannot speak to a single political action or policy or a legislative change that he made. I'm going to encourage our listeners to think about what the actual policy positions are that our preferred candidates take, and what the record is in proposing or achieving goals of that likeness. One thing most people like about a politician like Bernie Sanders is his never-ending campaigning for progressive policies. He doesn't campaign for things like togetherness or love and courage. He campaigns for specific policies like a $15 minimum wage or something like that. It's the equivalent of understanding what a company like McDonald's is involved in behind the scenes in terms of animal cruelty or health factors, etc. Consumers have a responsibility to investigate the products they purchase, and that type of consideration needs to be extended to the political parties and to their political actions as well. So now for the next part of today's show called Here's Something. Today I'm sharing a live recording of Chrissy Cochran performing Sam Cooke's A Change Is Gonna Come. This is one of my favorite recordings of Chrissy and was released in June 2013. It was recorded and filmed by Sasha Appler, and you can watch the video connected to this recording at youtube.com/Chrissy Cochran. It was part of the One campaign, which was co-founded by Bono to end extreme poverty. This video has close to 94,000 views, so you might have already seen it. So have a listen now to A Change Is Gonna Come live by Chrissy Cochran.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like that river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's out there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movies and I go downtown. Somebody keeps telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me, please, yeah. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. There've been times when I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Yeah, I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
All right, that was A Change Is Gonna Come live by Chrissy Cochran. Reach out to her on Twitter at Chrissy Cochran to let her know what you thought. Also, if you'd like to download and own that recording, subscribe to the Get Collected podcast on Patreon. For $5 a month, you'll get access to all of the music we feature in the Hear Something part of our show, and it's often rare and otherwise unreleased. So go subscribe now at patreon.com/getcollected. So what's the deal? Here's the deal. I bet by now you're wondering, where is Chrissy Cochran? Last week she wasn't on the podcast, and she's not going to be on the podcast this week either. She's currently working a job that's taking up a lot of her time and taking up a lot of her days, and so she hasn't been able to make the podcast work. But it won't be for long. She will be coming back, and when she does, I'm sure she'll fill you in on what her experience has been like working at this job. She was able to make it out to Villains Bistro on Friday night, though, to open up the show for the Family Soul. So the Family Soul is my band. It's a huge band. It's got horn players, bass, guitar, drums, percussion, all kinds of stuff. And we played Friday night. If you were there, thank you so much for coming. If you weren't, hey, we hope to catch you next time. But just to give you a sense of what that show was like, I'm going to share for you now a short 1-minute clip of us playing Move On Up by Curtis Mayfield. Have a quick listen to this clip.
People, there's only one kind. So hush that child, don't you cry. Your folks might understand you by and by. your best. Tonight on Vegas, you must get yourself. You can pass the test. Just move on to a greater day. Just a little faith and put your mind to it. So sure to do it.
So hopefully you dug that little taste of the family soul, and if you didn't make it out this time, hopefully we'll catch you at a future show. We don't have anything booked at this point, but I am scheming something up. If you'd like to catch Chrissy or I at any of our other dates, you can always find that information at soulbrothermike.com/dates or chrissycochran.com/dates. All right, that's our show for today. Thanks so much for listening. Tune back in on Thursday for an all-new Specific Awesomeness. Stay tuned and stay collected.